Ladies and gentlemen, Scotty Scheffler has won the green jacket. Solly is here. TC is here.
Hark. You guys better recognize. I want daps.
DJ Pie is here. Hello, DJ.
The only person I'm happier for, is Tron than I am for Scotty. I mean, it's just an unbelievable day, Tron. Congratulations, man. This is about you.
Thank you.
Big Randy is here. He is going to be issuing a statement, I believe, of some kind, and then he's going to be retiring for the night. Hello. And Neil's going to be taking his place after that. But hello, Big Randy.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity.
Before we do get to that, TC, I want you to, there's going to be a lot of flexing, I think, tonight, but I want you to flex a little bit about some new sticks maybe you have in your bag and how that's going for you.
Oh, my gosh. I shot 70 today at Crail. R69.
Mostly the equipment stuff is what we're asking for there.
Well, I know. I shot
it's
it
important
with
context.
it was like my fourth or fifth round with the new equipment. I put a set of combo. I did my own combo set. I got 3 Rogue ST Pros, 4, 5, 6, and then I blended them with a Apex TCB set, 7, 8, 9 pitching wedge, and I have an A wedge that may or may not be making its way into the bag. I love them. The turf interaction over here in Scotland is unbelievable. The U-Wood.
We've been singing the praises of the U-Wood.
The phrase turf interaction is so
That's
good.
good
That's going in my permanent lexicon.
The U-Wood, I got a really, I love the shaft. I got my 3-wood right now. The new 3-wood is unreal. And the new driver. It's
really
the Rogue
it's
ST.
all unreal. I will say I brought 5 putters on the trip. I brought 2 lefty putters and 3 righty putters. I'm gonna putt lefty tomorrow. It's not going well, but tee to green. I think I hit 14 greens today, and we're killing it. It's because I love the new irons. They're awesome.
Shout out to our friends at Callaway Golf. You can find more information about all those clubs TC just mentioned at CallawayGolf.com. Big Randy, do you want to get us started here with the statement here?
I'd love to.
Okay.
And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the tournament committee. I appreciate everybody allowing me time. I've prepared just a quick statement. First,
he will not be taking questions.
and I will not be taking questions on advice of my counsel.
Even though we're in Herb Kohler's board.
I want to congratulate Scotty Scheffler on a tremendous Masters victory.
That's so cool.
So big of you, Big.
It was well deserved. He bested a field of I don't know how many really good golfers. So hats off to him.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Some of the top 10 no showed. But that's, I said he didn't pass my eye test as the #1 golfer in the world. Conveyed, mostly my fault, I'm sure. And so I
cool
just
of you to take responsibility.
I just want to say sorry to Scott, his parents, his wife, Meredith, his kids, his grandkids, the whole Scheffler family. I'm sorry for doubting you. I look forward to the next however many months to see where this goes. And I'm gonna step away for a little bit. It's not a suspension, but
We're pausing, Big Randy.
we're pausing.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break now. So with that said, I'd like to bring in my associate to complete the show.
Before we do that, can we just mention one thing? How close were you on the Scotty Scheffler miscut bet this week?
I won't be answering questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's
Once.
Bush League of you to ask. You knew
You're
he
real
wasn't going to be
beaut,
asking any
Solly.
questions.
You're real beaut.
Month. You notice how he said months?
Dio's crying like the Charlie Reimer Blue Curtain video right now.
He said months, not years. He said months. That's chicken shit, Randy.
What a day. Did you guys have a fun time watching the Masters? I had a blast. Maybe that was the setting. Maybe that was the action. I don't know, but that was a very memorable day for me.
You guys were I don't know, all the Rory stuff, all that fluffy cotton candy popcorn
Get
bullshit.
outta
at
here
the
with
end.
that.
Get out. That was the most fun. That was the first time all week we felt like the rush of like 30 different things happening in 25 minutes all at once. CBS never really actually got caught up after that crazy run when Rory started making his move. The day had everything. It had, a guy make a run and make a probably somewhat, we can talk about the decision to go at the pin on 12. We had Scheffler kind of, scruffing it a bit in the beginning. Cam goes hunting in the beginning, gets within 1. Scheffler chips in. Rory's doing shit all over the golf course. It was happening. It was all happening. I don't know if I ever actually truly believed Rory could do it, but it kind of felt like at least fake maybe he could do it. He'd get close.
Minwoo Lee showed up to the party, had 6 or 7 drinks in like 40 minutes, and failed.
And then blacked out.
30-40 for him. Yeah,
Shout out to the cat, of course, on that
of
one.
course, of course.
TC, first off, hello everyone. I would like to point out how hyped did the bar get, the Jigger Inn get when Rory was doing Rory things.
Oh my gosh! I mean, how hyped do people get at, like an NSYNC concert?
That's the analogy.
That's such a bad. Come on, we got to start with Scotty.
Rory was
Yes.
bringing
No,
real
hold on.
juice.
No, no, we got to start with
If
Scotty.
Scotty
We got to
doesn't-
start with
I
Scotty.
didn't want to let him off the hook.
If
for
Scotty
that.
doesn't
No, we-
4-putt the 72nd hole, it's like is what a 5-shot win, 6-shot win?
Sure,
Five.
you're right.
Five.
You're right.
All right,
but-
all right, cool. So all right, Rory. Hats off to Rory for getting within 5.
It was a bit of a celebration of life, and we had a good time.
We're going to talk for 3 hours.
Rory
about
couldn't
Rory.
break par.
Let's
the
talk
first 2
about
rounds.
Scotty.
We got to talk about Scotty. We got to talk about Scotty. The world number 1 has won
Thank you.
4 times
Thank you.
in 6 starts, including his first major. Truly, I know you threw Dustin had a 5-shot lead recently. I know Spieth.
It's a fake Masters.
It's really hard for me to think of like a straight up more deserving champion.
Yeah.
Another guy that just went out and did all of it. Right. I mean, it was. I don't want to say never in doubt, but kind of right. I mean, it was like who possibly like didn't think he was going to hold on.
Well, when it was in doubt, he just did something to make up for it immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like on 17, it was past being in doubt at that point, but gets in trouble, then steps up, like leaves himself a perfect number and just hits a wedge to a foot. And it's just like, dude, he did that on repeat. He had made a huge par save putt on 11, makes another huge par saver on 12. Those putts do not hit the edges of the holes at all. They go in the center of the hole. It's just
Until 18,
it's just no doubters. There, you got a little squirrely
which
there
was
on
awesome.
18.
A 4-putt on 18.
That was
It was
amazing.
sweet.
I
It made it
was-
even better.
It sounded like one of those bad idea
Awesome.
tweets that always goes out. It's like, oh, if I'm up by 5, I'm definitely 4-putting the 18th just for fun. And he actually did it. And then the way he played the 13th hole too, tactically laying up, right in front of the creek, chipping on, hit in a good spot. He missed that.
That
putt,
was
but-
one of the tactically laying up in front of, like, you're gonna dap him for.
I mean, he's up by a million. Like,
No,
why would
no, that was one of the worst layups
Yeah,
I've
I
ever
think that
seen.
he,
though.
he hit
They-
it too close there.
Oh,
No,
he hit
really,
it like
chipped
he hit it like 40 yards too close.
he chipped it to like 8 feet?
I know.
It
but
was not a difficult shot.
That's not a. That's
I don't
not
know
a-
why you would
yeah,
challenge
that
the
layup
creek,
went
though.
way too far.
Like, why would you challenge?
He
the
didn't
creek?
challenge the creek. It didn't even reach
No,
the
that
creek.
was not.
Well,
that
he
was
didn't
not the
reach
play.
it, but it was like 10 yards too close.
It's either hit it like 200 yards and get within 40, or hit it like 115 to leave yourself.
That's not one of the shots that I'm gonna laud him for.
Honestly, my day starts with his chip shot on number 1, right? Where it's like
Yes.
Yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
guy sitting around, never won a major before, all the expectations, all the pressure, and he misses the green at number 1. He has this incredible, ridiculous looking chip shot and knocks it to stone dead, right? Like that's the guy that, when you when you see someone kick the Masters away, like that's how it starts, right? And Scotty pretty bravely showed that that's not how the day was going
we
to go.
like that.
And
We like that take.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I'd like to go around the table. What do you think the best shot that Scotty hit all day was?
Well, let's just go through his round a little bit, right? Because I think that's
No.
that's
But pick,
instructive.
I think it's better to pick one.
Okay.
Like pick a shot. What was the iconic shot?
I mean,
today for you?
the chip in on 3
Okay.
was
That was
Easy
out of
answer.
body.
that was going 10 or 12.
Yeah,
That
but
was a
that,
little
I,
bit
don't,
of
I don't
crowning.
think that was
Was
wasn't a
it?
shot for me.
that had
Oh,
some
it was
pace.
definitely
Is that
going
so?
at least
Solid,
10
is that your
by.
selection?
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
I mean, that was a historic shot.
TC.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of different
lot
ways,
of- lot of ways we
with
could go,
this.
for sure.
To me, it's got to be an iron shot because he hit his iron so freaking well the last 3 days. The iron into 7, the iron into 9, the iron into 14. I mean, all like those are the shots that like he's put himself in not a great spot off the tee, and then just removes any sort of doubt or any sort of even question mark at all, and just goes and does the damn thing and turns, hey, maybe he can scratch out a par here, to holy shit, he's making birdie.
I think the most deflating shot, and again, it was a weird day because it's not like I was rooting against Scotty, right? Like I just wanted,
Well, it's
wanted it to
hard.
get interesting,
When
right?
it's that big of a lead, it's like,
Yeah.
well, shit, I'm kind of rooting against you in a way.
But the one that kind of like deflated me the most was the one on 7, where it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
weird hole, weird shit happens. You get a weird bounce. You're a little long, you're a little short, and he just spins it back to 3 feet. It's gonna be another birdie. Like fuck, man. Which I think by that point Cam had birdied. I think Cam birdied 3 of the first 7, lost a shot to Scotty, right? And it's like, okay, no, this probably
he
isn't,
weathered the
this
storm.
probably isn't gonna happen.
Well, and it got to the point where when he flipped over to the back, I was trying to bring up the Spieth comparison to 2016 because if you go back, like no one thought that was going to happen. He was a little squirrely on that day, but like he coming off the Masters win the year before, huge lead on the back nine on Sunday. It was going to take something truly screwy to happen for him not to win it, and that's exactly how I felt going. Like, where is the chink in the armor here? Like, I don't see him giving away a 5-shot lead or whatever he had when he turned, and that was exactly the scenario I thought of, and the guy just went out and did the damn thing in the way that Spieth did not obviously go out and do it.
That's the thing you see is like when you go back and look at the scorecard, you can look at all the shots and all that, but you go back and look at the scorecard, clean card on the front.
And
Yeah.
it
2
felt
under.
like he shot 39 for a
Exactly.
while. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean,
It was
because of the par on 2 and the par on 8 feels like those feel like bogeys, right? And then
Insane
and
chip
then
on 4.
and
We
then
didn't
chip
mention.
on 3. Yeah, the
Like,
chip on 4
God.
was great. The shot on a 5.
Yeah.
That was maybe the best iron he hit all day.
I'm wondering how much of an effect we were all around the same age, when this happened. Norman in 96, like the whole like build up to that round, the collapse, the meltdown, if that makes us view, I think it makes me view like somebody sleeping on the lead so much differently. I'm like panicked for the person sleeping on the lead and having to wait until 240 to tee off. And like
Is
to
there-
handle that on
It's a very formative tournament for you, right? Where in your
Yeah.
head you're like, no, this is what happens at the Masters,
yes,
and it's like,
exactly.
well, I guess it hasn't really happened.
That was the
I
quite a
first
long time.
tournament. That was the first Masters I watched the final round.
Yeah.
Because I
the
can't
whole
think of
thing
a
all the way
tournament
through.
before that where I remember somebody collapsing. And there's probably multiple, but I don't, I don't have a personal memory of that.
Yeah.
So that is very formative for all of us.
Yeah. So when you watch somebody who's young just go out and like take the damn thing, I think that's probably why I was so captivated with Spieth when he did it at age 21 of like, no, like I got this. And I got that shit, dog. Move on to the next one. It's mine. And that's
not normal.
no,
Yeah.
that's what that this is what that reminded me of was Spieth winning it in 2015.
This is not a bit. I don't want to get there yet, but we got to give a shout out to his iron shot on 15 as well, which I don't know why he did that. I appreciated him doing that. It seemed like an outrageous, ridiculous play, but he pulled it off. It was sweet.
I think the idea was like, all right, if I lay it up and then go in the water, that's worst case scenario
Totally.
for me. So if I hit it in one of the waters on this shot and, then I'm hitting 4
And
somewhere.
I'm chipping like I'm chipping.
Yeah.
And you
Then
can
we're good.
basically, if it doesn't draw, it's going in the bunker.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you got plenty of green to work with.
For
and all
me,
that.
TC, you called it out earlier. The iron he hit into 14 was the one because it almost rolled off the back. But he's playing the hill. It was like, I was like, oh no, he blew it.
No,
he did it.
Dude, that's
His
gonna
irons
roll
were
right.
filthy
That
all
almost
day.
went in. It was like
all week,
oh my
man.
God,
Like
man.
it's like he's spraying it a little bit off the tee, or he's hot and cold with the chipping.
And I
he's
thought
either really
that was the
good or-
spot where he could have made a mistake on 14, and he just like 3 feet away, like right off the hill, bring it back. That was professional.
That was right after all the Rory stuff happened. So that was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, we got somebody in the house at 7. I mean, it's still going to take a pretty wild collapse, but we saw Hideki bleed a little bit coming down the stretch last year. It can happen, and then he just put the nail in the coffin.
The second shot on 5, though, like I just remember thinking on that one, like, holy shit, man! Like this is, like he was not like he had kind of faded that drive a little bit. He was out on the outside of the dog leg. I just remember watching like that was a 200-yard iron in there too, like the toughest pin on that green, like right over that mound, and Cam comes up just short, and Scotty's over the mound and misses the putt, but. That to me was like that was a major championship, like just a bona fide savage shot there. Sorry, I've got the app going. The app is too good.
The app is incredible. Okay? So we kind of joked with the over under 8.5 majors last night for Scotty. What is the number? Is it 2.5?
Yeah, I think 2.5 for any young
2.5
players
feels-
is a pretty
feels right.
aspirational number.
All right, more majors right now. Scotty or Morikawa?
Total or going forward?
Total.
Morikawa's got 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say going forward.
It's easy to get caught up in the.
That's what I'm not
in the
going to do
moment.
tonight.
I
That's what I'm
know.
not going to do tonight.
Yeah, that's hard. That's
I've played
hard.
this
I would
game
say-
before.
I would say total is the only way to measure it, right?
Yeah.
Like because it's hard to say like, oh, from now, like starting now. I would say at their end, when they go to the Champions Tour.
Well, it's an easy answer, I think, if it's total, because
Morikawa
one
is
major lead is enormous,
But
right?
Morikawa, I mean, he's a TrackMan golfer. right? And I think
As-
like
as we've
DJ,
discussed.
we're gonna get to that.
We're gonna
in a
unpack
bit.
that.
Sure.
DJ's
Yeah. Remind me to
gonna
get back to
preview
that.
some stuff here. Our friend Jed sent a text. He said
I was gonna read this out loud
he
as
said
well.
Scheffler is a 460cc fraud who got away with murder for 72 holes. Needs a white Bronco to go along with his green jacket.
I think his point is that he tends to hit it a little bit all over the map and gets a little helped by technology. However,
I think Scotty would be a
it
good
seems
golfer
like a
in
dude that
1985.
would get it in the hole in any
He's a
era,
shot
right?
maker.
Yeah.
And so nothing against Scotty, but I do think he at a crucial moment in the tournament, he got some help on number 3. And we
I
won't
do
talk about it
think
right now, but I got a
shouldn't be-
problem with the drop behind the scoreboard.
There shouldn't be TIO because those aren't temporary scoreboards. They're there all fucking
Well,
year.
TC, I've been going at it. I've been just fighting them off in the corner. That it's 50-50. Are they temporary or they're not temporary? We don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't think that the course should play easier for professionals. Grandstands,
Yeah.
scoreboards, whatever. You hit a bad shot like that, you should take a stroke and get line of sight. That's fine. You
I'll-
want to take line of sight, take it. Or play the ball as it lies.
I'll also
But
say
that was a I mean, Cam was one back right there. That was and then Scotty chipped in
Yeah.
to his credit.
that was
nothing
I think
against
that
him. He
was the
should take
shot
the
that
relief.
Scott probably or
The rules should
that
change.
that Cam probably wishes he had back
The chip shot on 3.
was the chip shot on 3 because then he's probably playing differently when he gets to 12 and
I
all
mean,
that
I
stuff. Right?
What a reversal of
No,
momentum there.
not the chip shot on 3.
The second shot.
the approach
Yeah.
shot on 3. Also, at Augusta, it's kind of philosophical. Like trees are temporary immovable objects.
I know, that's my point.
They're
It's like
moving
those,
that shit every
you
year.
look at those
right?
scoreboards and you tell me that's temporary and the pine tree next to it's not. Like that's not that
There's
doesn't work for
concrete
me.
in the
You can't
ground
sleep
with
on
the.
that.
No, I can't. I just think
Not on
that's
my watch.
bullshit. Like if you miss left on 3, it should be like missing left on 2. What is that, Deej?
I think they call that the delta counter or the delta counter.
Yeah,
over
you
here.
should be boned over there. That's
Delta.
bullshit.
Unless you ask for a red coat.
Unless you're a diamond, of course, then you can maybe get relief.
Most of these guys are diamonds.
What my friend is trying to say, I think, is it's an impressive win for Scotty.
It is. No, and I'm not holding it against him, but somebody brought up that, did he get any help? Is he blowing it all over the yard? Yeah, he is. And I thought that was a moment where, he got lucky and he deserved it. He took advantage of the rules. I'm not criticizing Scotty. I'm criticizing the rule.
Let
I'll be
me
very clear about that.
unpack this one for me, if you guys could, because I was discussing this. I shouldn't even be saying this, attorney-client privilege. I was discussing this with Randy over some pints last night. Everybody loves Spieth, right? Spieth hits it all over the map. Spieth hits these amazing chip shots. He's getting it up and down from everywhere. He's doing all this outrageous stuff. He's a young guy from Texas. What's the difference? Why has Scotty not grabbed the same electricity as our boy wonder?
Scotty's not as
Scotty wasn't, if I may, I think Scotty wasn't the heir apparent, right? Like
Right.
Spieth coming out was like a tour pro from the time he was 15 years old. And I think that
He
is a
won-
little bit of
he won
almost
quick.
which is funny because they were very their amateur careers are pretty similar, but Scotty just battled the injuries in the latter part
Yeah.
of his college career and all that. I think the big thing with Spieth is that everything's on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Right. You live
a really good point.
vicariously through him. Where I think the guy that's probably the best comp to Spieth right now is Cam.
Huh?
no, that's
Like unbelievable
Cam-
iron player.
Oh, I thought you meant like
Great-
emotionally,
no,
like
just-
connection.
Just,
It's
just like the
huh?
way they play the game, where you're either all in or all out, and you feel like they can make birdie from anywhere, but also like he's gonna hit this drive off the planet
Yeah.
every 6 holes. you
I
know?
would say Spieth. It's very easy to forget coming out like at age 21. Like it's fucking ridiculous what he did. He wins the Masters, wins the U.S. Open, is a shot out of the playoff right here at the Old Course, and finishes second at Whistling. Like that was age. Like we have, if we get to the end of this year and we got like 4 huge experiences with Scheffler, I think it's a different conversation.
that's a little bit of what I'm getting at
Yeah.
too, is like we were talking about before we fired up the cameras, is part of the reason I think why Scotty doesn't connect with like the vast majority, and I would very much put myself in this category, is because before today, like he hadn't done it, right? Like he'd won really good PGA Tour events. Any PGA Tour player you talk to is going to say this guy rules. He's really freaking good.
or TC.
Or TC, of course. I think it mentioned it once or twice. But to really be embraced, like you have to have done it at least once, right? And I think we said the same thing about Hideki last year. Like when Hideki gets on the leaderboard this year, he's a different guy than he
Yeah.
was, 18 months ago.
I thought
And
you were going to
think
go
what-
harder at the PGA Tour on this one.
No, I mean, I think a no comment is almost worse than going at it, because it just today what I'm getting at is this kind of just illustrates like the difference between winning on the PGA Tour and
Yeah.
the difference between winning a major.
The guy
right?
won 3 of the last 5 events, including.
And people are kind of still like, yeah, that's interesting.
They're shrugging
Yeah,
a
what's
little
going
bit.
on?
Yeah, like, oh, it's like he's cool. He might still be a fluke or
Like
whatever.
like juxtapose
and,
what
and then he wins a major, and it's like, oh shit, dude.
I was
like,
gonna say,
you're king made.
juxtapose how he was coming in with what you just said. Like he's won 3 of his last 5. He got to world number 1, and what he's going to look like at the U.S. Open or the
Yeah.
PGA rather.
Yeah.
When he shows up at the PGA, people are like, "Oh, Scotty's my dude. Yeah, this guy won the Masters, man. Did you see that? That was amazing."
Scotty's gonna be a predator at Southern Hills.
Dude, you can't emphasize enough how ridiculous it is. Not only the hot ass run into it, but to come in number 1 with this hot ass
He's
run.
been running throughout it.
Yeah, it's hot, sweaty ass off the pits to pick up basketball.
Modium AD,
Like
icy hot.
that
It's
run,
so
Things
solid.
of that nature.
he couldn't have put more expectations on him. Like, he couldn't have raised the bar anymore. Yet it didn't feel like it got to that level,
No.
and he still goes out and does it as world number 1.
I
Like
mean,
not many
somebody-
dudes.
Somebody to become world number 1 right before they go to
Yeah,
Augusta
and
and
go-
go back it up.
You know how
It's
toast
exhausted
steel.
you are after you win one tournament. I mean, I don't know, but
Not
I
only
can
one
only
tournament, match
imagine.
play, like the most exhausting one there is.
Yeah.
You know
Like,
how
that's
exhausted
a
you know how
brutal
exhausted
tournament.
we were after just walking around Crail today?
It's crazy. And you know what? We got to shout out Ted Scott.
For
For
sure.
We do.
Absolutely.
I
All
mean,
those.
There's
If,
our answer.
if you want to stunt and flex on Scotty, I'd like to stunt on those prayers we sent up for Ted Scott. They've been
They
answered.
have been answered. in a
They've
big
been
way.
answered.
Many people are saying the pray for Ted Scott led to pay Ted Scott.
Exactly.
Deej, I think the Spieth Scheffler comparison, at first I was like, where are we going with that? I think that's a really interesting question.
Yes.
And I think it's timing with,
Totally.
like you said, Spieth coming up when there's a little bit of a vacuum. I think there's a lot more like who's the guy
Well, I
right
think-
now. There's
yeah.
a lot more talent. And I think Scheffler's a little bit more
He's reserved.
he's reserved. He doesn't
Yeah.
have the charisma. And that's no offense to him. It's
Right.
just that Spieth, when you ask Spieth a question in a press conference at 20, 21, he's ready to give you like a really, really thoughtful answer. And then also I think at Augusta, Spieth had a dominance.
Yeah.
That I don't think Scheffler, it never felt, even though Spieth was blowing it all over the yard, it felt like he was in control.
Well, I think he also had the hype machine before he showed up.
I was
as-
gonna say,
as
some of
well,
that's
right? Like
narrative.
the whole engine was warmed up, ready to go, and then he did it.
He
right?
also had a close call at 20.
Yeah.
He was runner up to Bubba the year before he won.
Yeah.
Like there was some build up there. So
How did he not win 4? I feel like he's a
I know.
4-time major.
Whereas
He only-
Scotty's-
he only won 3. It's
Scotty's
crazy.
also like he's moving it off the tee. Like Spieth is, I would say Scotty has more immense physical talents
For sure.
both on and off the golf course. Obviously, pick up basketball and baseball and all that stuff. But like it's one of those things where I think you look at Scotty and you're like, oh, like you know what, like Scotty's got more of the mold of almost the Dustin Johnson. Like he looks like a freaking like I know he looks like he's
Yeah.
50, but he also looks like he's like the guy that can stand in and throw a 50-yard spiral.
We've said that about Spieth a lot, where like there's this faux relatability about him,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, oh, that's what it looks like when I play.
But
I get a shot like that.
I do
and
relate
Scheffler doesn't do
to
that.
I do relate to Scotty with the
Yeah,
kind of
because
homegrown swing and like the way he wails on it.
Yeah.
Like
he's like the guy
it
that
looks like a guy that's
plays-
like at the driving range. Like, oh, I'm gonna
This-
pound
Neil,
this one.
honestly, Scotty reminds me of you a lot. Like,
and I
like
think
you,
that's sweet.
and this is
I
a
appreciate
compliment for
that.
you and a compliment to Scotty. Like you didn't play like in high school, you didn't play basketball for 3 years, and then the coach asked you to come back to play basketball your senior year, and you're in the starting lineup in like 6 to 8 weeks, and you're the 3-and-D guy, and it's like, dude, like you're just a fucking athlete, right?
There's a natural thing with Scotty. Like he feels like a natural athlete. But Spieth felt like the golden boy, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference there. It's like the natural versus the chosen one or something. And I need to go deeper on
Well,
that.
I think you
Spieth
could
feels
have
like the captain of the team.
yes, and I think you could have the same, and it's honestly among the more fascinating conversations. But you have the same conversation with like why Spieth and not Morikawa, why Spieth and not Hovland, why Spieth and not Rahm, right? Like it's it's interesting, but it's also like, yo, I can't really describe it, but some guys make you feel it and some guys don't, which almost kind of brings us to Rory, right? Where it's like, not anybody can,
And it
like,
stops right there.
nobody else can like do what
Well,
make people feel what Rory made them
I
feel
think
today
one
either.
other thing too is Spieth made like miles of putts.
Yeah, he
And
did it in dramatic fashion.
There's something
Yeah.
emotionally endearing
Yeah.
about making a ton of putts
Maybe, yeah.
that you're not expected to make, and you kind of conjure
Yeah.
up this underdog.
Scotty doesn't ever have long
No,
putts.
he almost makes
So
it.
fucking
He almost
good.
makes it boring with the chip.
Yeah,
Like nobody realizes how.
exactly.
Like I go back to Thursday. He hit it over the green on 11, and he had like he was in jail, and he gets up and down. Like he hit it 40 yards over the green on
Yeah.
11, and just made it look easy. Like, oh, I hit it to 8 feet and made an 8-footer, which
Mm.
is not. You're right. It's not magnetic. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
and then he just kind of shrugged and went on his way. It's
It was also a bad shirt today. Like that's not
Sure.
endearing. Although I mean that's the same thing with Spieth. Like Spieth.
yeah,
dresses
the
a
Under
bad
Armour
shirt
stuff
like
is
a
really bad.
6-year-old.
Yeah, that's not good either.
Golf season is rolling along, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting operator of the PGA Tour, has a gimme for new customers. You can place any golf bet of at least $5 and get $100 in free bets, no matter what. You can bet a golfer to win, bet single round matchups, and so much more. As long as you throw down $5, you'll get $100 in free bets. And if Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can get in on the PGA Tour action. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Golf Contest. Draft your lineup of 6 golfers, compete for over $1 million in prizes each week. No big deal. Your boy went 3 for 3 this week. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. You use promo code NLU, place a golf bet of at least $5 and get $100 in free bets, no matter the outcome. Promo code NLU at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting operator of the PGA Tour. 21 and older, restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends at Rapsodo. You can go to rapsodo.com/NLU, promo code NLU for $100 off a mobile launch monitor and a year premium subscription. These things are incredibly accurate. You get within 2% of units that cost $20,000. The Rapsodo mobile launch monitor app automatically tracks your stats, stores video with Shot Tracer, helps for club gapping, understanding true distances for each club, provides immediate feedback and data, creates for a better practice environment, keeps you from mindlessly hitting balls. It's tiny. It's the size of a rangefinder. Fits on the outside of your ball, outside of your bag. You can use it both indoor and outdoor. Rapsodo.com/NLU, promo code NLU for $100 off plus a year premium subscription.
I brought
It's a great
mine
offer.
here to Scotland. I'm gonna try
Gonna
to
get some range
I'm
work
gonna try to
in?
get my. I got a little thing going on between my 6 and my 7 iron. I can't quite figure out what the gap is there.
I need to get on my Rapsodo, and I had a tough week on DraftKings.
Hey,
So
DraftKings.
maybe can I put a new email in and get that $100 thing?
Taddy
I heard that too.
Taddy Roasty 475.5 won the pool.
Oh, great.
Ah,
Won
congratulations.
the no laying up pool.
Shout
And
out.
then,
He's got a new 3-wood
I
and
want
an
some-
NLU head cover
How
coming
about
his way.
that?
I won some free money this week with our parlay, our made cut.
That's
parlay.
right.
You did. You
We
did.
tried to we made a great parlay for you guys. We picked 4 guys to make the cut.
We told you guys
We-
all these guys were gonna make the cut. They did.
We DraftKings boosted it, and I hope some people got in on it because it was easy money.
I took some debt financing out a few weeks back. I got some pouches to pay off here coming up.
Yeah, feel
It's
it.
not good. It's not good.
I feel like
Whoa.
I feel like Randy may have some collateralized debt obligations.
does.
We
Based
got-
on your stuff too.
We got to get to this quote that Cody is piping in here. Kyle Porter tweeted this. Scheffler said he cried like a baby this morning because he was so stressed out. She said he told his wife he didn't think he was ready for the moment.
Who did he-
Jesus,
who did
that
he tell that
changes
to?
things.
Whoa.
There was-
Probably in the media center after the.
That's why he had the lefts.
There was.
Coming,
So
off the
again,
start.
Whoa.
That's kind of what I'm saying is like.
That's what I was saying about like panicking about the final round of the
Yeah,
Masters.
But then he hits it over the green on 1 and he just knocks it to stone dead. And it's like, that's fucking insane to be able to do that.
cried like a baby this morning.
That is another
Whoa.
level of like
Like I don't get that
human
sense from him.
sportsman.
Being
That's
in the
no,
final
crazy.
group. I'm not like, oh man, this guy is out of his league. It's not showing through. It's the duck on the lake
Yeah.
analogy that we're hearing too much of lately. Paddling underneath, like I guess, but
What
I'm
a-
not seeing
What
it.
a year for Highland Park. The underdog, the scrappy underdog story. Matt Stafford.
Unreal.
You
I
know,
am. I'm flustered by that. That is not what I felt like I just watched. I felt like it was a coronation. That's super interesting. Cried like a baby. Didn't think he was ready for the moment. Who even says
he
that?
respects the game so much he gave a couple back on the 18th green.
That was
He
Seriously.
said, listen,
He was technically not ready for that moment.
yeah, don't-
In his
I don't need
defense,
those. I don't need those.
just
you talk about Cam.
I'd love to.
yeah, let's do it. Although I just want to say, like if the Corn Ferry Tour is in your area, like go watch it. Like go out to we were in Savannah,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. Like this was I think 3 years ago. Scotty like was fighting to get his tour card 3 years ago, and he's like, in my opinion, he was one of the best players in the world. And then he gets his tour card, and he comes out and he keeps it, and then he's he's winning 4 of the last 6 tournaments. Like the guys playing out there, like you're gonna see some dudes that are gonna win majors in the next 5 years if you go out to a Corn Ferry event. So
And there's plenty of people who shit on like the Q School was better. It was that's the pure test. No, these guys like
the sample
they
size
have
is big.
a year-long job interview,
Yeah.
and like only the good ones get through. It's like it's. I'm with you.
Yeah,
Good call out.
It's awesome. Like and they play like the courses are getting better. They're like shit. Like in Wichita, or if you live in Kansas City or Oakland or San Francisco, go out to Stonebray. Like there's some cool spots. Just go watch this stuff, because like every couple of years a guy like Scotty Scheffler comes through, and it's worth saying, yeah, I saw that guy before he even had his PGA Tour card.
Same with like Zalatoris, who spent
Yeah.
a good amount of time on the Corn Ferry Tour, and usually the guys that are going to make it kind of stick out a little bit. But
And there's not that like even a guy like Zalatoris before he basically had non-member earnings to get his card, like he still had to, he was still on the Corn Ferry Tour and
got to go earn it.
cleaning shit up there. So
I was going to turn it over to Cam, but I think we need to talk about the runner-up in this event. That's one Rodrigo McIlroy.
They love you, big man.
I'm not going to accept any Rory blasting tonight. I will not
No,
accept it.
Rory fucking rocked.
He
Honestly,
killed him.
you
He
should have
rocked.
shot
You-
62
you were-
today.
you
Come
were
on,
doing the St. Peter thing again.
hold out
you were
twice.
Doing
saying
what?
last night. Like I don't want to talk about Rory last night.
No,
and
that's
no,
no,
that's
that's
not-
bullshit.
that's
You were
not what was
clearly
said.
not listening.
That's not.
Rory.
I defended Rory
yes,
last night.
no, Rory he left some out there in round 1. He battled back,
You keep
even in
saying
the
you don't want
second.
to talk about him because he's going to let you down, and now you want to talk about him because
he didn't let me down.
No.
Exactly.
I don't know. You're picking and choosing. for
Round
me.
1, I was disappointed, and then round 2, I said, you know what? He battled
He
today.
did. It could have
Round
got off the
2.
rails. It could have been the thing that
Yes.
where he just uninspiredly misses the cut or is toiling away
Yes.
in 55th
So he
place.
shot what, 72, 72,
73,
71?
73,
73,
71,
73.
64.
I have no idea what he shot based on what you guys just said.
73, 73, 71, 64.
Best score of the day by 3 shots today.
I mean, it was electric. He left a couple out there,
was
which
electric.
is going to happen. And
You
it,
have
it
to
was
admit
funny how
that.
people got
Also
got
chipped
in.
twice.
People got on him immediately of like, oh, that's so typical Rory to not birdie 15. It's like, dude, the guy fucking shot 64 today.
Exactly.
He
Like-
almost birdied 15 too. That was a pretty good putt from the fringe.
It was.
And again, I'm not trying to stoke the flames. I thought that's a fascinating wedge shot with the like when you have to make a birdie. That was a dividing line wedge shot,
Yeah.
and he didn't hit it. Right, he was really freaking close to
It
hitting
was
it.
close.
He thought he was going to spin it off the
Just
fringe.
where that pin is, you have to go past the pin, but you can't go
You know what was
over it.
great?
The first bounce has to be great. It's just
He hit a horrible drive, so he had to hit that wedge shot.
And
That
that's
was
what,
cool. That was cool to see that he got punished for a bad drive. That was fun.
I agree.
Yeah. I
Are
agree
you
as
being
well.
serious or not?
Yeah, you're looking at me like you're dunking on me, but like I agree
no,
with
No,
you.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, but like if he hit a good drive, he probably would have hit the same shot. That was my point.
Okay, that's a horrible take.
No, because
Let's move on.
every-
No,
yes.
no, we're sticking on Rory for now.
That's such a bad faith argument.
That was not your best, Neil. We'll rest our case. We'll come back
Like
in.
that hole played
Let's not-
perfectly today.
I agree.
It was nice today. It was nice today.
Thank you. Oh, imagine that. There wasn't an atypical 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing out of the west today.
This man tried to argue that 15 was playing. He was enjoying the way 15 was playing up until
There was
last
some
night.
variety. It
variety's
made
the
it-
spice of life,
yeah.
man.
Okay, back to Rory. What kind of lease on life does this give us in terms of if
Oh,
Rory goes
15 years, at
15
least.
years of
At
if Rory
least.
goes out in 29?
I'm so fucking in, man. God, I felt so
Fool me
so
once,
alive.
fool me twice, fool me 15 times. I'm done, guys. I'm done.
That's not true.
I was there for the ride today. It was incredible. It was
You got a cotton
fun.
candy high.
It was
Yes,
no.
and it was sick.
No, I'm way in on Rory.
Can I?
Take me with you.
So we rented. We had the
Pick me up.
We're obviously here in Scotland. We've mentioned a couple times, but if this is your first time listening this week,
He was the needle.
we had the jigger in to ourselves. We have a group of 36 guys, Nest members,
And
listeners, and gals, all over here for a Scotland trip. We had the whole jigger in to ourselves. You want to hear what it sounds like when Rory makes an eagle on Sunday?
It was good stuff.
Nobody else gets that,
Nobody.
man. Nobody gets
Except for
that.
the cat.
Except the cat.
The cat would have gotten
Maybe
that, but
Speed.
And Spieth.
it was kind I don't mean to turn this into Amsterdam. It was kind of frustrating to follow because everyone that was watching feature groups was tweeting all about everything because CBS just lost track of Rory somehow, even after he had identified himself as a contender in the tournament. I think it's
For
fair to
sure.
say, look, it was
Totally.
I think the most his probability of winning got up to today was 5%. Not a lot. Listen, of course, but
Okay, what if
it was like 0.1. It was like 0.1% when the day started. So for him to say also afterward that was the most fun he's ever had.
Direct quote.
Yeah,
That's the most fun I've had on the golf course.
which is we all have a little.
Sure.
We
There
have
was
a,
some
a
recency
tendency
bias
to have a
there.
walk off a golf course after a great day and be like, "That's the most fun I've ever had." I know I've done it. I'll probably do it on this trip. But like that's inspiring to hear from that guy. And I'm wondering, does it change whether I don't know what you guys thought before? Is Rory going to win a Masters? But does today change any of that?
I think he wins a match. How old is Rory now? 34?
33, I think,
33,
32.
maybe. Yeah. I think he wins one.
Yes,
I did-
100%.
I did-
It weirdly does change my mind. And I know this is over. I said I wasn't going to do the recency bias thing, but I am desperate that he felt that feeling today and was just like, oh, that's fucking me. That's who I am, man.
It's
I need to be
Sergio.
He
that
also
guy.
It's
hold out a
Sergio
couple
vibes.
like
It's going to torture him for a while, and then he's going to get one. It's going to be it's all context. Like that's why everyone's cheering so loud for him in the bar because
I
there's
get
scar
it.
tissue. It's
Yeah.
awesome, and then he's going to fucking come through. It's going to be.
I agree.
I got a
epic,
theory.
and I'm going to be there for it.
I got a theory though, Deej. I think the cycle that he kind of goes through at Augusta is pretty similar to like what happened at Birkdale when JP was basically like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? You're Rory fucking McIlroy. And today he woke up and decided to be Rory fucking McIlroy. He carried himself with a whole different swagger.
He was bouncing.
You could see the iron shots he was hitting. It was not trying to guide anything. He's like, I'm going to mash on this shot right now, and I'm going to go make a birdie. And I think he can walk out today and have that feeling. And then like a year is going to go by again
so
to get back.
thoughtful,
And he's going to want it even more next year. And when he come out, it's so hard to do what he did today on a Thursday. And that's like his problem.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get off the bus. And until he figures out a way to address that, I think we're going to be due for, we're going to need it to happen in a way like this.
Deej, who said to Monty, he said they fucking love you, big man.
I don't remember. That's a long
But
story.
it's like Rory needs like a pep talk before every round. Somebody just hit him in the face and say,
Maybe just show him that clip. Show him like the bad, awkward whipping the club with out of the bunker. And it's kind of what you were saying about 2014. Just show him Valhalla, man. Just show him.
Somebody tie him down in the chair and
bouncing
make
up
him
the
watch
fairway.
him
Yeah,
from 2012 to 2014.
2012. Yeah.
like Rory needs to
Like,
be
yo,
more
man,
of a
you
narcissist.
were the kid. You
Yeah.
could. That's you right there. Just be that guy, and wear those patterned shirts where the sleeves are different colors. That's what you need to be doing.
Solid question for you.
Can I get one more theory in for 1 second? When Tiger had the chip in on 16 and they had the high five with Stevie and how bad it was, and it made him make 2 bogeys after it. I'm worried about him starting bogey next year because that celebration out of that bunker,
That's
it looked
really
like
interesting.
it looked like somebody that had never celebrated
It's
before.
really,
It's just-
really interesting.
I don't know
yeah.
what that club throw was.
He was
that-
just overcome. It
know
was
he
all
was.
just like,
And then
It was authentic.
And then he
Yeah.
made Harry rake even more of the bunker.
I was worried Scotty was going to hit it right where the club hit in the bunker.
Solid. Like, do you think so? Like, and granted, you probably haven't diagnosed this yet, but from Rory's round 1, round 2 this year or in previous years, is it too much patience? Is it too much? Is it too deliberate? Is he? Because I don't feel like he's going after pins and all that. Like, what's the
I think it's
from a strategy perspective? Is he laying back too much and not being himself?
I don't
Or-
think it's strategy as much as it is like this is a different golf tournament today than the previous
Totally,
3 days.
yeah.
And that this suits him. Like this is great. This is pin your ears back and go.
Yeah. And this is a different golf tournament
He's
than the
not a
other 3
mudder.
majors as well.
Yes. And this golf course require the beginning days, especially days 1 and 2 this year, require a different level of precision to get to the harder pins. The pins were just easier today, right? So some funnel pins, if you will. It's not an easy golf course today, but you can get away with not being less than precise. Like I just don't trust Rory to hit like an 8-iron to the top right shelf of the 6th green consistently, and constantly get it in the right spots on the more difficult pins. When the pins are easy, I can picture. That's kind of why we do this every year. Like I can see it if he gets an eagle on 2. 3 is gettable. 4 is not that difficult. You can get kind of running downhill, and
Stuff
that's what
full throttle.
that's what works for him. I
He's
just
the microwave man.
I,
Like if he heats
yeah.
up, you're like, oh
he's
man,
like J.R. Smith,
truly, it's
Like-
great, and that's why it's so exciting.
Nick Van
man.
Exel.
I'm
Just-
way in on that.
which this is I totally half-baked take and thought here, but I just in my head when like Rory's got to go do like a 5.5 hour threesome, I just don't think that works for him. Like when he can get out and run like he did today, like twosomes is just it's a different style of golf. I feel like he's less time sitting around thinking. It's just less methodical and it just goes.
Shout out to the PGL.
One thing I think that like one of these years it's gonna be monsoon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's gonna be soaked. Kind
The
of like
expectations are gonna be too big.
No, but then
He's gonna get the right
It's
draw.
gonna clear up, and the courses they're gonna do like lift, clean, in place or something, and it's gonna clear up, and like he's not gonna have to be a mutter, but the course is gonna be long and soft and all that, and he's gonna feed and he's gonna win.
I think he said it's his best score. I don't know if he meant today
Best
or
round
if
at
he
the
meant,
Masters.
if he meant for the week. But
Best round ever at the Masters.
Yeah.
He's never shot 64. I mean, he's one off the course record today. That we got to talk about this now, though. The shot for the U.S. viewers is very obvious what happens. Cam Smith is doing aim point on the 13th green, and CBS is not showing Rory, who was already in second place at the time, finish out on 18. They showed him on delay basically all day. A enormous roar comes like just barreling down the hill. It is very obvious in that corner as to what just happened. And Faldo just goes, well, I don't want to spoil anything here, but something incredible has just happened. Like literally the only way you could spoil it is by saying that exact thing. And then like Nance doesn't know what to do. So finally they go run over to it and like they've just given away what happens. And it was just totally bungled. It was horrible.
It was so
such
nice
bad TV.
watching Sky, and I know it's largely the same shots, but watching Sky with no sound.
it was a treat.
And
Yeah.
even like because I was getting ready to dap up CBS until I heard all
Oh my
this because I'm
God.
like the pictures were so freaking good. That drone shot left of 13 was awesome. Like they kept showing that kind of up the creek, and I'd never seen that angle before. There was just so many cool shots that like they did such a good job subjectively this year with all the angles and different looks at the course and the drones. And I feel like they had 20 Venice cams out there.
The
and all
imagery is
that.
incredible.
Yeah. And then, shout out to Sky too, like Nick Doherty and Butch and
Rich Beam.
and Radar and Rich Beam. Like it's so freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was
You know
not as
what
much.
I mean, business idea for Masters.com. If they want to make a premium channel, I would pay for a kind of a live view of Nance and Faldo, like behind them to see Faldo
Just like
say that and
Stop,
Nance just be like,
dude.
"Yo,
Stop
dude,
talking. Stop talking.
fucking blew it. You're a chap. You're not a bloke. Okay, you stink."
I mean,
Like,
this was
how would Nance react to that? Just like, man,
This was not a
What are you
golf Twitter
doing?
thing today. This was circulating in like normal sports Twitter today. How bad CBS kind of bangled, which
come on,
we've been
man.
all over them for incredible improvements they've made at regular events, at PGA Tour events. It's just felt like they kind of dropped the ball today on Masters.
Feels like
Sunday.
it's tougher at the Masters to give these moments their proper space and also
Yeah.
feel like you have a cadence to the broadcast, right?
Cody, any thoughts here?
No, I just want to give a quick shout out again to the Masters, the best content team in the game. Excuse me, wasn't talking over here for a long time by myself, but the best contact team in the game, the best internet, the best social follows, and it's amazing to sit there and watch what they produce themselves to include all the live featured stuff versus what their partner puts out. It's crazy. If you want to add on top of that, I know Dottie probably got her fours crossed, but horrible clubbing there on Scheffler. I couldn't believe that she called 9-iron there when it clearly wasn't going to be a 9-iron.
I
That had to
think
be
that
a
was a
full- yeah.
visual. Yeah. So for people that don't know, when the caddy flashes a sign at a spotter, and if you go 4 down would be 9-iron and 4 up would be 4-iron, and either she crossed it or the caddy may have crossed it as well. It might not have been her fault, but they were teeing it up as in, he's trying to lay it up in a good spot, and so they didn't know that he was. They also didn't know Scheffler was laying up on 13. They thought he was going for it on 13. And it was very obvious he was holding a shorter iron and was not going to be going for it. So both of those shots, two of the most important shots of the tournament, while the ball's in the air, I'm like, wait, is he doing what they said he's doing or not? And that's just inexcusable, really. It's you can't drop the ball like that in the biggest tournament of the year. And I know I didn't even hear it because I think I don't listen to when Faldo talks, but he said something about shooting stars and something on 18 instead of his, welcome to the new age. It was
Oh, here comes the little sausage himself walking up the fairway.
it was tough. Oh, the bots are back, Cody.
Bots are back. I know, not good. I'm working it.
Can we talk about Cam?
Yeah, I think
I
it's
think he
time.
deserves both some criticism and some praise.
I think there's a like you said, it's positive and negative. I think let's start with the negative because I think there's a lot of positive to take away from this. I think negatively, like there's a trend here of Memphis, even Sawgrass of like, hey man, like you made that, like your aggressive play won it for you, but it also like some of that aggressive play wasn't necessary because you put yourself in a really shitty spot, like on 18 or on on 17. He's definitely put the left miss in play
Big time.
at times, but I think that was the thing that kind of crushed me today was he like the left miss kind of like the left, that sweeping draw that he likes to play kind of abandoned him in the biggest spots on 12, for instance, like which playing a draw in there seems kind of tough in and of itself, but then trying to draw it on 13 and it hangs it out to the right. There was a few of those today, 9 for instance, and it was one of those things where it's like I worry that he was pressing the pedal I know he's chasing and everything, and it's like you have one of two mentalities, but I wish there was like a first gear for chasing and a second gear for chasing, and sometimes you need to be in that first gear, and because it felt like he was pressing a little bit too hard, and it's like man, like 2 shots, 3 shots isn't crazy. Like that's a 2-shot swing on one hole, you know.
I will defend going at the pin on 12. I think he made a bad swing.
It was just a bad swing.
I think he made a decision. He birdies 11, which is very unlikely, and
savage birdie.
He's 3 back with 7 holes to play, and Scotty playing well. So like you're not, if you want to win it,
go win it.
You got to stuff it on that shot, and it's a test. And if he failed the test, but like he made a decision of like a bogey, a par. And a bogey might mean the same thing here, and a triple might mean the same thing here. And I need a 2. I need a 2 to put some pressure on him, because if he stuffs that, then Scotty's got to hit the shot, and now it's really essentially a 2-shot lead. That changes Scotty's shot a lot, and that is his best chance to win the golf tournament. And he didn't execute that one, so I'll defend that. But he was sloppy. I just never seen him get like that. Just butthurt. Honestly, he was kind of near club slamming, just frustrated.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was passion. Like I kind of was like, I was right.
You could tell it's gonna boil over.
Yeah, he boiled over because he wanted it so bad. And I know what you mean by
he was
like
sulking though a little bit.
It's not like Billy Ho sulking.
It wasn't though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was like angry. It wasn't. Butthurt was the wrong word for me. Angry, and it's like, no, don't do that. But I'm also like, I feel you, dog. I just
like
want to call out though. He started birdie. He's 1 shot back.
The birdie on 1 was,
I mean, dude,
just like
the start was a dream start, and we get to 3, and he hits a bad tee shot.
Even
and
on
it just
2
flips, man, and it's like, God, are you kidding me? Like, it was almost too good to be true. That's how I felt on 3. I was like, but man, this is going really, really well.
But 2 is a perfect example of that razor's edge where he still made birdie. He put it in that front bunker and got up and down. But even there, like he's going for it, man. Like he's not playing the slope all up and down the left. Like he was on 2 or on 4 even. Like that shot
that was right at the flag.
That was 6 inches short of being like almost in the hole.
And I think it's like,
and I'm attracted to that kind of golf.
Like he's
awesome
putting his
to watch.
chips on the fucking table.
Yes.
And I think it's important context to realize also that, less than a month ago, he won the biggest purse in golf history by firing right at the flag.
Yes.
I'm the most famous par 3 in golf.
And
so when you step up to 12, I get how in the back of his mind, it's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to do that again.
Like
that
you're going to lose
that was
some,
awesome.
you're going to win some, you're going to lose some playing like that, but you're all like, you're going to gain my respect. Bottom line.
Yes.
Man.
And it's also,
Agreed.
if you want to get close to the pin on 12, it's a different shot than the right pin on 17
Totally.
at TPC, because like if you aim kind of center and try to fade it back there, that's not the shot. Like if you want to get it close, you got to like draw one in there, and you can overcook it. That's why no one does that. And if you overcook it, you're in the back bunker and you're kind of screwed. And if it doesn't draw, you're in the water. But like I would say that's the best chance of getting one close rather than like cutting one back there. But I mean, you rarely see right-handers stuff one back.
Hit a
there.
proper shot
Cam
at the
is he's
15.
full send. You know,
Which I respect that.
He's just
Even
revving
just-
it, man.
just a
It was
triple-
great.
It was a bit of when keeping it real goes wrong.
A
out
little
there.
bit, yeah.
Even to triple 12, left it short on 13. I'm like, oh shit, like that's gonna be tough there on 13. And then, like even on 10, he hits it into the woods.
Horrible tee shot.
He struggled off the tee.
He chips it out, and then he struggled off the tee down the stretch at the Players too, right? Like
He
and
was
then-
negative 0.69 strokes gain off the tee this whole for the event. Like
Yeah.
he lost the tournament on
the
off
more short grass they put in around here, probably the better for him too. But like on 10, he missed the putt, but he's 100 yards out, hits the wedge shots to like 5 feet, and it was a diabolical slider down the hill. But even just to do that, like immense stones to almost get up and down for par on 10 and then birdie 11, he triples 12, and and he's furious on 13. Bogey's 14, and he comes back and like I respect the shit out of him. Birdied 15, birdied 16, par 17, par 18, and
Yeah.
like he didn't shut it down. He didn't collapse.
didn't.
He fought till the end.
Fought for that top 5,
He's
baby.
a fucking dog, man. And
He
like
is.
he didn't win, and I'm bummed about it. But I don't like he pushed his chips in. He went for the win on 12, and he just didn't get it done.
He's raised his floor so much. Like it felt like he's really struggled today, and he finished T3 at the
Yeah.
Masters. Like it felt like he had a career tournament to finish T2 when DJ won, and this feels like he kind of not spit the bit, but didn't have his best stuff to finish this one and finish T3.
Yeah, it's
shot
like he's here to
70
stay.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, now look out. Like
I was gonna say
he's
that's
coming back next year.
that's one of my favorite things about the Masters, obviously too, is like I love that he's now in that kind of current day pantheon of like, oh man, Augusta, you got to watch this guy,
Yep.
this guy, and this
Yeah.
guy. And Cam Smith is
Cam
like
always plays well there.
top of that list.
He shot
right?
73 today with a triple, and it
And-
feels like a massive failure.
And
right?
couldn't hit driver, and that the holy triple
Yeah.
was not a driver hole. Yeah.
And I think he's the kind of guy where like this is gonna burn him, man. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna like he works his ass off anyway, and this is gonna go back. This is more fuel in the fire.
I know we have 2 more majors before it, and I know my eye keeps drifting out the window here. And it's
We're
a little,
literally looking at the road.
We're literally looking at the road hole right now. But holy fuck, I can't wait for the Open this year.
It's going to be incredible.
Like just watching this, like, yo, give me Scheffler, Rory, and Cam again
And Cat,
at
and
the
the
Open,
Cat.
and the Cat.
the Cat's gonna win.
And I listen, Southern Hills and Brookline are going to be awesome as well. But
No offense to anyone.
I think their skill sets, and Lowry also, right, and Morikawa and Zalatoris, like, dude, that was a really good golf tournament, and we've
Yeah, it
got a lot of good ones still left on the calendar this year.
Yeah.
Solly, shout out to you for the Lowry.
Well
Thank you.
done, well
Thank
done,
you.
fair play, Solly, fair
Thank you.
play.
I think you.
But he
I-
wasn't the top Irish.
I don't
Irish
want.
bloke.
I don't want you to thank me for that or shout me out. I want you guys to either apologize or thank the stats, the data golf,
Mm.
just the strokes gained. I want you to apologize to strokes gained or shout out to strokes gained.
I'm in on the strokes gained. I borrow your password every week.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, he was. He. I feel like he, in a different world, he could have won this golf tournament this week. He played some. He said he's played some of the best golf of his life this week, and he's been playing really, really good. And he
I think
is a major champion, and it would make sense if he won another one.
For sure.
I think
Yeah.
Brookline's gonna be a really good course for him.
Yeah. Morikawa, sneaky solo 5th with 5 under par 67 today. Do you want to talk about? Can we talk about the Cat actually first?
Of course.
I feel like we need to address the Cat.
The Cat did exactly what I told you guys the Cat was gonna do. Made the cut. He stumbled on Saturday, ran out of gas, but it was a massive W.
It was. It was. I guess a little
TC,
unexpected.
you're right. You told us that. You told us that. You're absolutely right.
He walking off.
Hark.
Again, I can't tell if you're
Hark.
if you're taking the piss out of me.
I
or
think that
not.
one he's taking the piss.
I am taking the piss out of you.
Walking off 18 green, shooting 78 on the weekend in the blood red shirt, and the Venice Cam following him, and the big ass smile on his face was just like,
Pretty cool.
dude, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know he struggled, and you can lose track of it for a second, but like for what he has described, and when he did that interview with Henny at Golf Digest about what his recovery process has been like and how much he, misses the feeling of a well-struck shot. And I would go lay outside in the grass just because I was so bored and missing all the things that I always took for granted. Like for him to walk off having competed 72 holes and make it to the weekend and beat a hell of a lot of professionals this past week, you could tell it like really meant something just for him personally to be back in that environment with his family there. And I thought that was a cool moment. I really do. And I was uncomfortable watching him play golf and walk around and hobble like that. And I don't know how sustainable that all is, but like took a couple screenshots today of just, him wearing the red, walking around, because truly don't know if we'll ever see that again. There's absolutely no guarantee that we'll see him play another weekend.
Again, like I think it goes to show you like just how talented
Yeah.
he is. Like he was on, maybe 15% of his capacity level.
Right.
And also like how fucking soft some of these other guys are. And then B, like Tiger should never ever like talk to Jason Day ever again. Like he should just like Jason Day's beneath him, right? But also like he's gonna win at St. Andrews. Straight
Would
up.
be sick. Would watch for sure.
I will for sure dap you up if that happens. I will not hesitate. For that.
And it'll be like if Tiger wins at St. Andrews, it'll be the single like coolest sporting moment of all time. It'll make it'll make the Masters, like the last Masters that he won, what 2019, like that'll make that look like minor league shit.
I do worry about the putting. It is very much not good, and I don't think I would expect him to putt better at Augusta relative to the field than I would somewhere like Links.
On the weekend,
Greensburg.
it was bad.
Yeah.
First couple rounds, it was fine.
On the
It
flip
was
side,
better.
though, like I have to imagine he's on so many anti-inflammatories
yeah.
and pain
Yeah.
pills and all sorts of stuff that like I just hope he can, like, he's been in the cauldron here, and I hope he can kind of wean himself off of that and get back to normal life
Yeah.
for the next 8 weeks to 10 weeks.
Good question here from Colin Lamar. Over under Tiger tournament appearances in 2022, 2.5. That's a great question.
That's a good number.
Does the hero count?
Yeah, I know. It depends on what
I'm
Just
gonna go
counts.
DNC?
The
I'm gonna go
PNC.
3 because like that's but in the current season, like until
Current.
I would
until
say
East Lake,
I would say 2.
I'll say 2.
It sounded like he just didn't know yet about Southern Hills and Brookline, and
I just don't think either of those places sets up.
I don't either.
Sounds-
I mean, he won at
especially
Southern
Brook-
Hills,
but
in
I don't
a
think-
different golfer in
I don't think
2007.
Brookline sets up. It's a hard walk. I don't
God,
think it
those
sets up well at all.
Just
for him.
sound like miserable weeks for him.
Yeah. I'd be rooting for him just to show up here in July. Like, let's focus on that one.
Because
Let's try to peak there.
I think it's going to be shocking, at least to him, like how, and maybe not. Maybe he knows exactly what he's getting himself into, but like it's like the next 6 weeks are going to be like he's not going to be able to leave the couch.
Yeah.
He's going to play so much Call of Duty.
Would you like to debut your Morikawa take?
No. It's not at all. It's just something I was confiding in you guys. I'm not ready to make any kind of pronouncement about
Not ready to take a stand.
about this at all. But I'm watching some YouTube videos. I'm kind of almost I'm open to being radicalized
You're
by
doing some research.
yeah, I'm doing some research. I'm open to being radicalized by the Morikawa's a TrackMan golfer takes. I just wind lays down, he goes out and shoots 67. Conditions are up. It's kind of he's kind of nowhere to be found. So watch this space. Again, I'm not saying that. I'm open to hearing more about
Do you
it.
think the Open Championship win was a false flag?
No, I would never say that.
I don't
but
think it was. I don't think it was a
was
real
there a
Open
little
championship.
was there a little less wind than usual, or the conditions?
It was a little bit like a fall Masters.
conditions down. I don't know. It's interesting.
You go back and watch those highlights. There was not wind at that tournament.
And
It
it's
is
a very
different.
aerial course, more so
Yeah.
than a lot of the other links courses that we're accustomed to.
Mm.
Zalatoris.
Such a stupid take, but I am open to it.
I don't think that's that stupid.
No.
I think that I would be curious to see what the numbers kind of net out on that. Like, would I take on a golf course that's just fire away and do whatever you want all week? Would I take Zalatoris or Lowry? Would I take Morikawa or Lowry? I'd take Morikawa.
Yeah.
If you like put them on blustery
If you
conditions
have to
right
play
out
real
here,
golf.
I would take Lowry. Yeah. So that's an interesting thought.
Zalatoris back at it. He's gonna
Unreal,
he's
man.
gonna knock off one of the
I was
next
gonna
3 to
say.
5, right?
Speaking of the guys that are going to be on that list next year, coming down Magnolia Lane,
And another guy we need to add to that list is
Can I-
Sung Jae.
Can I think?
and Corey Connors.
Sung Jae.
yeah.
No, I'll Sung Jae. put himself in a great spot. At no point yesterday or today, I mean, we didn't even talk about him on the show last night because at no point today did I ever feel like he was going to make a putt.
True. Can I make a comparison though on 10 when Cam missed that slider down the hill? I thought 100% he was going to make that, and if you put Will Zalatoris in that spot, I would have thought the exact opposite.
Yeah,
and so
like
until that,
Downhill slider.
until I feel differently about that, I may not get as excited.
Zalatoris is so good though.
Yeah,
His ball striking, it's
Neil, the problem with Zalatoris is you have to keep him outside of that 6 foot range. Like if it's a 10 footer, he's absolutely making it. If
so
it's
then
a
he's playing
6-footer, he's not.
Wolfhammer. He's like trying to get
He's trying to get pulleys.
He's trying to get pulleys all day.
Oh, dude,
I don't
we were
want to
talking
learn
about that at the Jigger. Rory won so many dots
Oh my god.
for that birdie on 18.
Somebody
Polly
probably
Rattler.
Polly Rattler,
somebody probably
Saddam.
hammered like
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
hammered take. you know.
Colin hammered, I'm sure.
Hammer take
But then
Hall.
Colin chips in as
Polly
well.
Rattler.
So that's all. It's very interesting.
I don't want to alarm anyone,
Yeah, we'll
but
hammer.
Zalatoris was 6th in strokes gained putting of everybody that made the cut this week.
That's alarming.
I do think there's a certain thing about Augusta with him. Greens are speedy, glassy. As a bad putter myself, shorter your stroke is, easier it is to get the ball in line.
I would like to implement Randy's eye test. Zalatoris putting is not passing my eye test.
You guys were all pumped up about Corey Connors finishing in the top 12
3 in a row.
T6.
Yeah.
I don't think we're worried about Corey Connors getting back to the Masters year after year. Like Corey Connors seems to be turning into like a top 25, top
sure,
30 player in the world.
100%.
His last 3 years at the Masters: T10, T8, T6.
What's his world
Trending.
ranking?
Hold.
At this point, it's got to be
Hold,
top 20.
Hold, please. We got to talk about JT next. JT.
Let's do that. We can do that.
Corey
Corey
was 32, I believe, going into this. week.
32, so he's going to be up in the mid, high
20s probably.
20s. And then we got the
Yeah,
Canadian
that's
Open
fair.
coming
He hasn't
up.
won a
You
ton,
got,
so he can't be
Or at all.
lower than that.
again,
Hey,
another
Ron
guy,
Valera.
floor.
Oh, that's right.
Floor's high.
He's
Ball striker.
broken through. It's not a total
Yeah.
final situation.
JT.
JT, T8 -1, all over the map today.
Some good stuff to take away from this week, I think.
I think so
Some
too.
bad stuff to take away. That Thursday round was not good.
Pull to Rory.
72 on the weekend. How do you feel about that, Solly?
I mean, it would be different if it was like kind of punted himself out of it and came back into it. I don't know how to say it, but he kind of like went out and got it and then fell back. Went out and got it, then fell back. I don't really have I didn't get a great rhythm watching him play golf this week of understanding what was good and what really wasn't. So
Yeah.
I can't really opine. It didn't feel like he was ever a threat to. Yesterday it did for a little while feel like he was a threat, but at no point today did it feel like he was a threat. But I don't have any big takeaways.
I'll say I like the pants today.
I appreciate you riding for the pants.
Yeah.
It was a bold play.
Yeah.
I like
you must play boldly to win.
You have to. Yeah.
I just got a text from a tour caddy. He said, the big question that he's asking, perhaps nobody else is asking this, does Scotty honor his commitment to Mr. Palmer in 2 weeks to play the Zurich?
Whoa.
Potentially
interesting.
against other luminaries such as Leash and Cam.
Sure.
Mm,
Aren't Morikawa and Hovland playing together?
they are.
That's terrifying.
They might be odds-on favorites.
Seems like a pretty good team.
We had some comments in here, and I'm just now finding these quotes here from Tyrrell Hatton. Made some interesting comments after the round. If you would like,
Shout out to Neil.
you'd like to
great,
hear.
great call that he was going to be
finish dead last.
finished DFL of those that made the cut.
It sounded like he and
Lord, T-Rail.
he and William Ho.
Not only did he finish
some
last,
bad behavior
he
today.
made some theatrics. The theater.
What were the quotes?
What did he say?
The question was the last round last year was 68. You signed off okay. This year you seem to be making progress. Joe Haddon, yeah, but you can hit good shots here and not get any reward for it. It's unfair at times. I don't agree with that. If you hit a good shot, you should end up near the hole, then not short-sighted into a bunker because of the slopes they've created and stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's a fair test at times. When you hit good shots and you're not rewarded for it, it shows. Next question, does it increase the frustration level more than any, or is it because it's also a major, Tyrrell? He said, I think it's how the course is set up in general. You don't really have to make to miss a shot, and your next one you're really struggling to make par with how it runs off the greens and the slopes and you're chipping into and how it's cut. It's just really hard to even get chip shots close. I think everything is exaggerated here.
For sure. I think Scotty would totally agree
For
with
sure.
that.
I think, yeah,
It's just impossible to chip
the
it.
only
Listen.
thing that separated Tyrrell and Scotty this week was the bounces.
No,
off
it's
the
always
sticks.
it's always good to play horrible
And
And
then
then-
blame Dr. McKenzie.
and then blame the what many people are calling the biggest tournament in the world.
As
And the setup, that's good.
as always, I'll please players continue to speak your mind. I love
Yes.
hearing stuff like that, but
Yeah.
also we'll continue to say like, yeah, that
That's
doesn't
dumb.
really make a lot of
like,
sense.
can we ask him for like? I would like him to show his work.
Yeah.
There, can you provide
love for you
specific
to
examples, Terrell?
Expound.
It's gosh, if you finish dead last, you just walk off and you got to turn the camera inward and just be like, yeah, that one's probably on me. Like
Tyrrell,
yeah.
shut the fuck up. Yo, shut the fuck up.
TC, I know you're not gonna like this. Cam Champ T10 coming back to the
Another
Masters,
TrackMan golfer.
possibly, but a guy that you want him to show up and he showed up. What
It's fine.
you got to tip your cap at least.
All-
Did you guys
all
see any
credit
shots
to
from
him.
him?
I did not.
I didn't see him on
I couldn't
telecast.
tell
Not
you
once,
much about what
not
he did,
one
but
shot.
the
Harry Higgs finished
I
his
know.
2 shots out, 1 shot out, one shot out of getting an invite back to the Masters. Let's just go. We'll go earn another way.
That's
Big
right.
Rig. We're totally fine. We're gonna get there.
Guys, Dustin, disappointing weekend for
Yeah.
Dustin.
Yeah. Seriously.
Upsetting. Sorry. I apologize on our behalf.
Gosh, it's big.
We saw, was this just the sky feed or was this just I'm just going down the leaderboard here. Did we see way too much Danny Willett? And is Danny Willett kind of like a Keegan with those
The shoes were-
Jordans on?
Yeah, the shoes are tough.
Egregious.
That's actually a good comp.
That
right
is a
there.
very good comp.
Egregious.
The
One
British Keegan.
major,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of a cunt.
TC, I'm here for that. The Keegan comparison is very, very solid.
Fleetwood T14.
How about it?
Okay.
How about
Sign of life.
Signs of pulse. yes.
Westwood T14?
Yeah, I got to give a big shout out to Westwood, man. That I did not see that coming. Went out and even moved up the board further today.
Yeah,
He's-
71.
He's probably gonna chirp Joel Beal tonight.
for sure, very much so.
Big shot, Bob. Would you like to celebrate that?
I don't even think I need to celebrate that. He was shot
not a
he shot
Ranger fan,
69
though.
today. Yeah, again, I apologize for that last night.
We got bad intel from the glass.
Yeah,
Weekends.
Which-
the Glaswegians.
My caddy was from Glasgow, and he says he is a Rangers fan.
Ooh. We
Now,
might have to
so-
have Bob weigh in on this.
Yeah, I
got
a
We should-
text.
we should
Bob, if
maybe
you're listening.
It's
back
such a
channel for
divisive
pod
issue, I guess, that
appearance.
Bob doesn't even want to wade into this. There's also, all sorts of religious, political, just all sorts of ramifications here. We, as Americans, we can't even.
can't even wrap our
fathom
heads.
this
Yeah,
shit.
sure.
Taylor Gooch
Great
continues
week.
to play great golf.
Anything else you guys have from a
James
lo-
Power made the cut.
Yeah,
I
okay?
think that-
Got to mention that.
Gotta
as
mention
well.
that.
I just think that TIO relief is a disgrace, and the
Okay.
PGA Tour, the ruling body, should look at the rule. They should adjust it. They should factor in some nuance, and I don't think that pros should get a free drop when they hit a horrible shot. So
Here.
We were texting our friend Jed on the text thread. He's been deep on this block for a while, as have I. Billy Horschel is Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
that's
Like they look alike, they
Would
act
listen.
alike, they have similar sociopathic tendencies, the intensity level, all of that. All those just like every time I see Billy, it's just like this.
He's wound up.
Yeah, and it's like Patrick Bateman, like
He is wound tight.
probably got the same skincare routine.
Cody, anything else we are missing from the year's first major as we put it to rest?
No, a lot of talk. Everybody amped up, excited about Rom leading in. Probably my biggest disappointment of the week. I don't know if you guys have any extra thoughts on that. Just clearly not feeling it. A lot of
I think-
people want you guys to dig in comparing Sky versus CBS again. I think we did a pretty good job covering it in the little mini Amsterdam section. And besides that, just a lot of people begging for some more 15 talk from Sir Neil over there. No Eagles for the week. So
We can revisit. We can
No
revisit
Eagles.
15 now.
Can I say on the
We're in a
Rom
safe place.
on the
Hey,
Rom thing?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of what's keeping me from getting way out over my skis on Scotty. Right? As you watch him
Yes.
the last like 6 weeks, 6 months, even.
It's fleeting.
And you're like, this is going to last forever. This guy chips it great. He drives it great. He putts it great. Like, this is going to be forever. He's always going to be number one. And it's like, we said all the same shit about Rom. And I think finally we're starting to
also
chill a little bit. And I hope it lasts for Scotty. I hope it's so much more fun in golf when I think, anyways, when one guy is top dog for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but
That's not
it's
normal.
so rare for that to happen.
Also,
so,
Rom-
Scotty, go get it while you got it. Smash the glass, grab as much as you possibly can.
Loot.
And but I think Rom's gonna come back, or
Rom's-
I think Hovland, or I think
Rom's about to come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I think so
Shout-
too.
shout out
Rom
Rom,
playing
so.
with Cat today, I think, was huge
Yeah.
for him, and seeing Cat open up and talk that much around
Oh
it
my God.
is.
Did Cat give him some advice finally?
Maybe some perspective.
that was good. That was good leading into the week.
Uh,
Yeah, JT asked him.
Yeah,
gives him a
man,
whole
he
dissertation.
gives a dissertation. It's like, man, Rom, you know the word dissertation?
I know.
Like, I wouldn't
Rom's-
even pull that out of my
Oh,
vocabulary.
Rom's got such a good vocabulary.
I know
it's
it's,
wild.
incredible.
He's the one who said he pledged his
It's his
fealty.
second language. He's
pledged
pulling
his-
dissertation out in the press conference.
Pledged
Cody-
his fealty to the
Cody,
PGA
question
Tour.
for you: did they show on CBS
It's filthy.
the embrace between Butch and Tiger?
Yes, they did.
Oh, they did. Okay, that was cool. That was cool to see. Like,
Which, listening to Butch on the telecast, he's like praises Tiger. You can hear, "Come on, Tiger, knock this in. Give
Yeah,
the
yeah.
crowd a cheer here." Like, he's
Yeah.
way into it.
again, like Butch, like shit. I mean, like, why is Butch not the lead guy on CBS?
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
I
they
know
got
he doesn't
fouled
win
now.
a major championship, but I
Mm.
mean, shit. Like,
That's interesting.
anybody.
Well,
but
I
fouled
think
up.
the biggest thing is like I know Butch does a lot of this stuff remote nowadays, but he doesn't travel that much anymore. This is the first time he's been back to the Masters since 2019, and then catching up with Claude a couple weeks ago in Austin, he just said that more and more he loves that Vegas life. He's not gonna be moving around. So unless it's permanent
team-
remote somewhere, that's where
Yeah.
he's at.
give him 5 tournaments a year.
Yeah.
And pay him a shitload of money. And I don't know.
Do you guys want to relitigate 15 or put a conclusion to this? Or
Oh, I think we rocked him.
I'm not gonna stunt. I think we ended last night. Said let's see how it plays with the wind
Yeah,
down a
and
little
it
bit,
played
and I thought
great.
it was great today.
Zero Eagles.
I
this week,
think-
though.
Yes.
So
Zero
yeah.
Eagles.
Okay. So
Maybe
you
there
know
were no
what?
good players. In the
I guess
field.
we're on a diet on 15 now. I guess we can only see
Yeah.
it every once in a while.
Yeah, you were
That's fine.
fat. You were fat and happy before.
Yeah, I
they
thought
were,
that hole was.
they
just
were giving
fine.
out Crystal
I
like they
think
were
there's
youth
other holes.
participation
My whole point
trophies.
is there are other holes they could tweak on that course that deserve more attention than messing with 15. I thought 15 was just fine.
I would like to reiterate that it's not even as much as messing with 15 as it was not adding flexibility to when the wind is in to make that whole play way more interesting for the first 3 days.
And again, I just respectfully disagree.
Listen,
I
I'll
feel
meet you
you.
in the middle.
Then
a
you
little
can't
bit.
dunk today and be like, "See, told you it was right."
That was TC.
I'll absolutely do that. I will meet you in the middle a little bit and say, yeah, one of the, maybe first time in the last 15 years that the wind was out of the west 3 days in a row like that. But I would say if they could have carved out a little bit of flexibility and moved it up one of the 3 days, I'm cool with that. I like seeing the variability of like when it's not a 2-shot, like basically a par 4, like then that's cool too. Like it kind of makes you appreciate it a little bit more when Scotty went for it today, or like that made today more interesting.
He
for
had
me.
9-iron. It wasn't that even that short. 242. I feel like this is the most. This particular one was not Faldo's fault, but I felt like this was the most momentum we've ever had for Faldo getting ousted. So I'll be curious to see if the gas pedal stays down on that one. I feel like they cut his mic off like 15 minutes after today. But
So
you guys good to wrap?
I'm taked out.
Taked
completely.
out. This is
Unbelievably,
we
like,
left it all in the field.
We've wavered so it's currently 1:38 a.m. For the 4th night in a row here.
ready to shut it down.
I'm ready to shut it down, and nobody's gonna certainly cry for the boys here, but we've wavered so hard back and forth between like we should do this every year for the Masters because we can play golf in the morning and then you watch it in the bar in the afternoon, evening. It's the best. And also, like, we should never do this again because we get to bed at 3 o'clock every night. It's exhausting. So I still don't really quite know where I fall on this, but had a hell of a week. Maybe my most fun Masters ever.
We're playing the
Wow.
new tomorrow.
Playing the new.
It's not
what,
so new.
I'm first off, which is again, I guess we gotta wrap this thing
Yeah,
up.
let's wrap it up here and let's get to bed and let's go. We're
Wrap
gonna
it
go
up, B.
enjoy St. Andrews. So
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in all week. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Cody, for running the ones and twos. Sorry. Thank you, C, for running the ones and twos
Codes.
all week long flawlessly.
Thank you, Codes.
Codes, but then shortened to C.
Yeah.
I think we can go with that. And
Thanks-
yes,
thanks,
this was a blast to do. Thank you, everyone, for supporting our show. As always, we'll be back with live shows again for Southern Hills to PGA. Cheers.
Rocked him, baby.